I don't see any traffic behind us. Beautiful. Oh, we're in a P2 now, baby. Let's go. Fastest lap. There he goes, dude. He had a moment. He had a fucking moment. Dude, monster race so far, dude. Come on, let's keep it up. It is, dude. Dude, we are totally in P1 now. He had the wrong tires on. He stayed out another lap. Dude, we're looking golden. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Get back on. Get back on track, baby. Come on. Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody, and welcome to another little Gran Turismo 7 race recap video. Today we have a pretty special one for you guys because this is the very first round of a brand new Nations Cup, and I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting a good like 4 or 5 months probably now for them to give us any sort of cup races at all. This is what I really think the bread and butter of GT7 is. And dude, finally they give us one, so super stoked to get this series off and running, as this race is going to start here in a second. You're going to see someone has made the wrong tire choice already. He's going to have a pretty massive spin at the beginning of the race, and that's what's going to happen to a lot of people out there, myself included in this one. As we're coming out of turn 1 here, we kind of got a terrible exit out of the first corner, and now it allows smoke to kind of pull up next to us. Gonna be a little bit of bump in here, but it's all right. I get it, you know, dude. We're all trying to sort ourselves out. Track is wet. And actually going to be a little bit of a bumping in front of us too. Jamo and Morgan kind of are rubbing sides there a little bit, and we're going to be able to make that easy pass on Jamo. And so looking already in a P6, looking like we're in a good spot to start this race off. Already made a couple positions and already kind of breaking away from the traffic behind us. Dude, guys, if you could really swing, not drive. If I had any advice for you guys, is if you can swing driving with no TC in these rain races, like, I don't know. It's just most people are driving with TC. You really can tell the difference on corner exit, and you get so much more off of people. And so yeah, dude, that's my only advice for this race, because I don't know what I'm talking about with anything else. If you could swing no TC, dude, do it. As Morgan going defensive here at the end of lap number 1. And this was actually kind of a really cool race for me personally, because this is the first one that we're coming back with our A+ driver rating. And it's just like, dude, I spent so long and tried so hard to get that driver rating, and we kind of hung around there for like a month and a half when we had it, and just had a really terrible string of races. We ended up losing it. But last week at the Watkins Glen races, we actually ended up picking up a couple wins, and we were able to get back to A+. So just really important for me to kind of just not have a disaster race here, kind of maintain that rating, as these guys are going to try to go 3 wide into this hairpin, which it never normally works out too well. I will applaud them that they didn't completely just obliterate each other there, as able to make a double overtake through there on whatever riding that is, and Avila making a quick run on Morgan here. Dude, we're flying, and we're actually going to make the tiniest bit of contact on him and push him wide, and I'm going to actually make like the dick move a little bit, dude. It's like the tiniest bit of contact, no penalty. I said racing incident in my head, dude. So I kept going there, but I probably should have given him that spot back, but it was just still really early in the race, and I just felt like it was better. We just both keep driving, dude, instead of trying to let these other dudes catch up to us by me slowing down. And actually, we'll pick it up a couple laps later. We kind of maintain the same track position, but we are going to have a terrible exit coming out of here on this turn 1 on lap 6, and it's actually going to allow Morgan to, you know, have an amazing run on me coming up on the straight. And after me being such an ass, gonna kind of let the power fall in his lap here, and he can decide what he wants to do. And he is gonna take the position. He's actually gonna use me as a barrier, a little bit of a curb there, which I completely don't mind doing. Like I said, I feel like what I did to him was a million times worse. But anyway, he's able to gain his spot back on me, so the karmic balance has kind of realigned itself again. And you can see the car in front of him, and then me as well. Also, our rear's kind of kicking out a little bit on that corner due to on these inters. They're really getting fried at this point, so we're gonna go make a stop into the pits here and put some racing softs on. But we got to be really careful when we come out, because the track will be wet. And so making our first stop of the race, I think we end up making 3 in total. We're gonna do another one at lap 14, and then another one at lap 22. But coming out on these fresh softs here, we really are driving like old Granny Turismo on this pit exit. Now, I'm not in control of the car right here. Right here I am. But you'd be surprised, you really do need to drive slow like that until you get onto this dry line, because if you don't, you will spin your car and you will pick up a 3-second pit penalty. So it's always better to be safe than sorry, because, you know, obviously we got a dry line here where everyone's been driving, but nobody's been driving on that pit exit, so it is going to be incredibly wet there. So you just got to be extra careful on the softs. And now coming up to the start of lap number 9, we are going to pick up a P2 on Smoke here as he's going into the pits, and the last of the pit stragglers are kind of coming in on this lap 8. We are going to go purple here, but probably everyone's kind of going a little purple as the track is getting drier. Should be able to push harder and harder every lap. But that being said, I did feel like I had some exceptional pace today. I felt like I just needed a little mistake from P1 to catch up to him. And on lap 12, we are going to get that mistake from him. He is going to outbrake himself at that hairpin. He's going to go off track. And it's incredibly hard to get back on track from a moment like that. Just because once you lose it, your tires are probably all fried, and you got to drive through the wet again to get back onto that dry line. So just a big moment from that P1. We have the race lead now, and we just got to drive smooth for a couple more laps until we go and put some fresh inters on, because there is another weather system that is approaching. I want to be ready for that when it finally does come. So putting on a fresh set of intermediates here. We're doing this now basically because there's some intermittent raining that's happening at various parts of the track. And really, only T1 is really the only place that's incredibly wet. So what people could have done is they could have tried to stay out 2 more laps on their soft tires to try to give that next intermediate stint a little bit more life. But it didn't really make sense to do that, because like even if you survived until lap 17 and you didn't spin, that next set of inters that you put on was not going to last you the rest of the race. I don't know if this is making any sense or not. You're gonna have to put a second set of inters on anyway after that. So that's basically why we pitted now, so we didn't have to worry about the semi-wetness of the track at this moment, and we knew we were gonna have to make that second stop anyway. So approaching a back marker here actually on lap 18, and he's actually almost losing his car there. I'm gonna actually lose my rear here a little bit too. And I should have been paying attention to these signs that the car was giving me, because I said earlier, really like lap 17 to 18 was going to be the hardest downpour of the whole entire race, and I've already been given 2 signs that I should probably cool it here. I could see in my cockpit when I'm driving too that there's rain everywhere, and right here we're going to have a race lead, a losing incident. I'm like looking at my steering angle at the moment that I lose it, and to be honest with you, I can't even see what the problem is right here. This P2, which becomes P1, actually has almost the same exact incident as me, so I can't explain really what happened there. I just got a little too cocky on my throttle and ended up off track. I was like losing my mind there, trying to get back on as quick as possible, because even though we lost the race lead, we're still in this P2. There's still a couple laps left, and I know that I have some good pace. So you know, I didn't want it to trip me out too hard. I knew that we still had a good shot at a good result here. Says we're in a P1, but that's because Get Busy Anywhere's already made his pit stop, so we're really still in a P2 here. But we're planning on making our pit stop at the end of this lap 22 as we're approaching the pit entrance. We're gonna have one more corner that we gotta make it through, and I don't know what's going on with the dudes behind me, but we're gonna get caught up in some sort of incident here as we're trying to enter the pits. We're actually almost gonna spin out as well, but we do save the car. We don't cut any pit entry. We don't do anything like that. We don't get a penalty for cutting the pit entry. We get a 2-second penalty, a complete bullshit 2-second penalty for colliding with another car. It's not going to tell you right here on the replay what it was for, but when I was racing, it said I had collided with another car, 2-second penalty. And I really thought that that was ridiculous, considering that I was the one that got collided with. And now we ended up losing this race by like 3 seconds, so even like with that spin, it might have actually been really this penalty that put the nail in the coffin for us. And with only a handful of laps left to go, we are catching up to this P4, and unfortunately we're going to end up right into the back of him there. And I'm not sure if I missed my braking point or if his tires are just dead, but either way, I didn't feel right about trying to take that position from him. So I did slow down through the corner there. Unfortunately, that allowed a Smoke in this P6 to kind of catch up to us. So I really need to get past this guy, because you could tell he's struggling through most every corner. And like I said, I can only assume that his inters are just really fried at this point as we end up into the back of him again. I'm actually surprised I didn't just take him out. But he is going to pull over. I'm assuming that's to stay in the wet line. I don't think he was doing that to let me pass, as he is going to go into the pits here. And I think actually Smoke might have had some sort of penalty or something to serve too, because I actually don't see him behind us anywhere anymore. And coming up to the final 5 laps of the race, we are by ourselves here. Looking like it's going to be in a P3 coming out of this turn 1. So we are looking really nice here, even with our spin. Still looking like we're going to get a good result. All we need to do is bring it home these last couple laps. And yeah, we should get that podium at least. And here we go, the final lap of the race, still chilling in our P3 here. So we haven't made any position gains yet, but we have slowly been catching up to P1 and 2. And here I am. I'm just trying to stay in these wet patches of the track like as much as I can, kind of where I can, because even though I put those fresh sets of inters on, my tires are still pretty fried, as we are getting yellow flags here, and I can't see exactly what's going on, but I'm pretty confident that it is so either P1 or 2 is having moments up there. I'm not sure if they put those fresh inters on or what their tire situation is, but I can only imagine that they're pretty dead, that they're more dead than mine at least. And as we're coming around this corner here, I could start seeing P2, and I start getting confident that we're at least going to pick up this P2 before the race is over, and he is going to spin out. And thank God for ghosting. Just going to drive right through him. We're in the P2 now, so that's great. And now I think this is P1 spinning out right here, and I start freaking out, but no, it was back markers, P12. But I did think for a split second that I won the race, and man, it was a great feeling. But I'm chilling with the P2 here. We spun out and we didn't lose this race by much. I think if there was one more lap in this one, I think we might have been able to catch up to that P1. I think his tires were pretty shot out there. And that will wrap up our first round of the Nations Cup. All in all, a really good drive and a real monster race, and one I think we definitely 100% should have won. And I don't know why we spun, but it happened. We're lucky that we ended up in a P2. And we ended up getting like 249 points, I think, for this one, which puts us at rank 12th in the United States for the Nations Cup, which is super cool. Great way to start it off. Obviously, there's still many more rounds to go. And the next one is a little sprint race at Suzuka. I've actually done it already. Sorry it took me so long to get this video out. I'll try to make one for that one too, because I don't want to spoil the result for you guys, but I am running out of replay time here. Just want to say that all of you guys make playing games and racing a million times more fun, and I love you all. Hope you've been having some great racing. Until next time, guys, kiss, kiss, kiss. Stoosman out.